Welcome to the ISB podcast. Sahil, Rahi, Roy, the crew is back in action, and today we are covering, as we do weekly, the world of football. If you've been enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel on YouTube. But if you're enjoying these podcasts, we're coming to you weekly with a new episode, bringing you different topics from around the world. And today, boys, we're going to a small little nation of Georgia.
Ooh. Small in size, but big in heart.
Big in heart. So the reason we, of course, are talking about this wonderful country is they're coming off a fantastic international week where they beat both Czechia pretty handily and Albania. But this weekend was another good weekend to be Georgian because Kvaratskhelia and Mr. Zivzivadze scored as well for Karlsruher and Napoli. And guys, good time to be Georgian.
Good time to be Georgian. Just like the great wine that comes from Georgia, this team is just getting better and better and better. Building on strength. I mean, had a great Euros, and now, Roy, they look like a force to be reckoned with, sitting atop their group in the Nations League. Roy, I don't know. The sky's the limit. This is a team on the rise.
It's a team on the rise, but this shouldn't be a surprise. You see that rhyming? You know what rhyming is, Rahi? I just did one. So, Georgia, the Euro, it's understated to say that they had a good Euro. They had a phenomenal Euro. For a team like Georgia to go into the group they had, which was arguably a group of death, and beat Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal 2-0, completely blank them, and then go up 1-0 against Spain in the round of 16 and have the world dreaming of a monumental upset. This was coming, my friends. Their recent performances are not a fluke. They've been playing well for a good while now, and they're led by a phenomenal coach. Willy Sagnol is doing magic in Georgia, and you know what a fun fact is? He was the lowest paid coach at the Euro. £160,000. It's unbelievable. The lowest, and look what he's done with this team, guys.
It's incredible. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. But I thought you were going to say this doesn't come as a surprise because of the Georgian footballing history. Because I was going to bring up two names that this is something you guys, I might be stumping you guys. You know, there was a player by the name of Kvaratshelia who was a legend for what team, boys? What team was he a legend for? I'll give you a hint. Mr. Christian Pulisic of the American plays for it. Yes.
Rossoneri.
Kvaratshelia, and then there was another.
Finest.
It was Shota Arveladze.
What was his nickname? Kaká, no?
Oh, that was his name. That was his name. Yeah.
Isn't it Kaká? It's something. He has a longer first name, I believe, but I think they.
No, that's his name. I think that's
one of the great names in the history of football.
Yeah, the Georgian fans can tell us about that. But there's also Shota Arveladze, who was their leading scorer of all time. So, obviously, I think Rahi, look, Kvaratskhelia, everything goes through him. He's the main man now.
Yes, but you're forgetting, I think, maybe the best player on this team, who maybe was the best goalkeeper in the Euros. And that is Mamash. Okay, I need to say it properly.
Do it.
I always mess up his name. Everyone take a stab. Roy, give his name a shot. Mamardashvili. Mamardashvili. Okay.
Mamardashvili.
I think that was 80% there.
I apologize. I always mess up his name because I get so excited talking about it. Mamardashvili. Incredible goalkeeper. Incredible goalkeeper. And I think he might be the most expensive player on this team, actually, value-wise.
I think Kvaratskhelia is the most expensive. But Mamardashvili is close. And it's good that you mentioned value because I was looking up the team and kind of the bottom half of the roster. The difference between the bottom third in terms of market value and the top third is probably more than any other European nation. You have a player on the roster who was at the Euro who has a $50,000 market value. And then at the top, you have $80,000 market value. And you have quite a few players in that 50,000 to like 300,000 market value range, which to equate it for Americans, for instance, that would be a USL player ranged at the 300,000 value. So it's interesting to see that this is a team with an extremely strong top third, and the bottom third isn't so strong, at least not when it comes to market value and the teams they're playing for.
But it's interesting how they're performing. That's what I'm saying. So, and I butchered his name at the beginning, but Zivzivadze was the top scorer for Karlsruher last season. And he started off with a bang again for the team in Bundesliga 2. And so he's a fantastic player. Did you see the goal that Kvaratshelia scored against Albania? I mean, that is golazo times like 1,000.
Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest thing. They score goals and in big numbers, right? 4-1 against Czechia. And to beat Portugal in the Euros, not just by 1 goal, to beat them 2-0, right? It was a very comfortable performance in a lot of ways. Because what made this team so good, I think, is that they defend very well and they have an incredible goalie, but they're so lethal and they take their chances so well. They don't create a ton of chances, but when they create them, they're very clinical. And that's the difference in world football, I think, Roy.
That's a great point. The way this team plays is, Roy, these counterattacks. Watch, the way this team plays, their counterattacks are so quick and so incisive.
Yep, and they're very good at building out of the back as well. I like how they play when they play with a back three. Their center midfielders drop into the gaps, so they very easily build out of the back, and they build extremely quickly to create this counterattack. And then their top three is just so lethal. Such a lethal, exciting, beautiful top three that's just a joy to watch. So when it gets to them, which in a game against Spain, for instance, where you're giving up 85% possession, you're not going to get it to them often. But as you saw in that game, they scored in the first minutes. And it's because that attacking three is so lethal when they have the ball and they're getting close to goal. And it's just incredible. It's one of their major strengths.
Yeah, I think it's only it can only get better for this Georgian team. It's a fun time, a great time to be Georgian, and all you Georgian fans out there, we will continue to see how the team does. It's Nations League, the sky's the limit in terms of how this team does moving forward. And let's take it from there. So
I have a fun fact.
Go ahead. What do you, before we close the chapter on Europe, what's up?
A quiz question for Rocky. Rocky, who used to be an MLS fan and used to watch one team in particular. You know what that team is, Rocky? Which Georgian player plays for that team now?
Ooh, for Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, I do not know the answer. I do apologize. I don't know the answer to that question.
He had a howler during the Euro. He played a decent Euro, but he had one critical miss. I forget in which game, but it was just a point-blank miss. It is Mr. Saba Lobanitse. He's a left winger for Atlanta. Very, very good, shifty, technical player for Atlanta. And he's just a joy to watch. But that's your boy.
That is Atlanta, the thing. I think there's undervalue on this squad as well. You talked about the value, and you watch them play, especially the way they build out of the back, and you think, why is every player on this team so technical, right?
Yeah.
So yes, the stars are the stars, right? But there are so many players with such technical ability that you feel are really undervalued. So I don't know. I think this team is no longer a dark horse. They're clearly a very good team, but be wary because people still aren't noticing how good this Georgian side is. I really do believe.
They will. They will shortly if they haven't already.
For all you Georgian fans out there, is this your golden generation? Let us know in the comments, and we will be back with some more from another region.
Can we celebrate with some Georgian wine after they win their next match? Because they will.
You really like the Georgian wine. You wanted to throw. Have you been to Georgia, Rocky?
No, I haven't, but I've been dreaming of it. Have you seen pictures? It's an incredible country. So beautiful.